Hello and welcome. I am the Suit&Tie Dip&ChewGuy, and this is the number 21 review of series number 11. Series number 11 is North American Market Snus. So this will be the final product, third of three from Nordic Ice. This will also be the final product in this series. So let's take a look at the packaging. Okay, so you have a metal lid and metal can. Everything is pretty self-explanatory on the front. There are 24 portions, or pouches as they put it. Okay, on the side, you have a scrunched warning label. Sale is only allowed in the United States. Wintergreen branding, 100% foreign tobacco, and this is a domestic product, so that's not really that great. And the net weight is 0.25 ounces. This right here is a pull tab, but let's get to the back first. On the back, you have a sticker. Flavor up top, 24 premium pouches. You got the barcode and the fact that it is manufactured by Cheyenne International LLC, otherwise known as CN Smokeless Tobacco Company of Grover, North Carolina. They have the website, which I have never been to, but it is www.cheyenne.intl, like international shortened, .com. And the tax class is M, and the net weight, as I said before, is 0.25 ounces. That is half the weight of their pouched dip products, which is 0.47 ounces, which is half the weight of any other company's pouches, which usually range between 0.82 and 0.84. So on the back, that is a sticker. It is pretty flush to the can. It does not come off. I have not attempted to get one off. On the side, you have a pull tab that you sort of scrape up with your thumbnail, and then you pull it off. And what you have is something that seals pretty well, but is basically a piece of Scotch tape. So, on the first review of the frosted mint, I was like, yeah, it's like a piece of Scotch tape except for this end part. And then I remembered this end part is how usually rolls of Scotch tape start. Anyway, so. Whoa, this doesn't want to come off. Oh, what the heck? Okay, it doesn't look like any of the pouches opened up in this one, which is good. It's got a wintergreen smell, but it's not an overly pleasant wintergreen smell. Now, as I've said so many times before, I'm not a big fan of wintergreen in general, but there are some that smell better than others, and this is not one of them. So that's what you got. You got 24 very tiny pouches. They are evenly distributed tobacco-wise, but I mean, even rolling in your hand, you can tell this thing is like bone dry. So I'm going to throw one in, I'm going to hit the pause button, and I will be back. And I am back. So basically you have these tiny, tiny little pouches. They're sort of the same size as the Camel small pouches, but I don't think they're even as long. Compared to a Derringer pouch, Derringer is also made by this company. The Derringer pouches are small in themselves. Unfortunately, I don't have a regular pouch product around. It's just in my upper lip. There is a very mild, I don't want to call it a sting. It's not really a tingle. It's most likely due to whatever they're using for the Wintergreen. There's not much flavor again. It's just like, I'm not exactly. Now, this is the company that makes Derringer, Decade, and Klondike. And so I wasn't really expecting much. But this is sort of like, it's just like nothing. Like, there's nothing even really terrible about it. There's nothing even to complain about. It's just tiny little pouches that you put in your mouth and pray that they have some sort of nicotine content. But I don't think they do. So I'm getting a mild wintergreen flavor. It's so mild, though, I can't even really tell you if it's good or bad. There was some sort of mouthfeel on the gum and lip. It's already gone. And the break was only like 1 minute. So we're about 3 minutes into this now. There's no flavor. Why they went through all the trouble of putting these in all metal cans, I don't know what they thought they were going to be able to market or who they thought they were going to be able to market to. I think they thought, oh, we'll put it in all metal because we'll be able to afford it because the people that buy snus have more money because they're metropolitan people. And yeah, but those people are not going to take this over General because why would you? Or at worst, you'd maybe do it once and then you'd realize your mistake and it would never happen again. So I have no idea why they went through the trouble of putting this in an all-metal can. The cans are sort of nice, but there's no getting past the branding here because the Nordic ice is actually raised. If you look at the inside there, you can see it's actually raised. The cans are pretty nice and they seem to snap well and whatnot, but it's a subpar product like everything else from this company. This company really has me scratching my head as to why, besides people needing jobs, like why they even go through the trouble. And it's with all their stuff. They make products that really aren't that good. Low nicotine, bad flavors, bad smell. It's just like, why are you doing this? Now, in their defense, as it turned out in most of the series involving Dip, their products, Dip-wise, actually were a little bit less shady than Swisher's. But Swisher, that's a whole nother set of questions. That's not like, why are they even bothering? That's why when you have the amounts of money that you have, are you doing this? So it's a whole different thing. This stuff, unless you're like a collector of cans, I don't see a point. No flavor. It's not producing any byproduct. That's why it's spitless, because there's no spit. Nicotine's going to be low, like real low. The wild cherry was, a pouch had been compromised in there. There was tobacco all over the place. And I'm all but sure that this is the same product as their pouch Dip Wintergreen. And this was the same product basically as that. Only they made this so dry and the flavor so non-existent that this is spitless. But that's only because you're going to be spitless, basically. So I don't know how much these things retail. None of this stuff is from CN is available in my area. I would not suggest any of it to anybody. I would go with Camel. Even with Camel's low nicotine, I would go with Camel before I went with this stuff. At least you get something out of it. Like, you get an idea, or you can double. If you've noticed, I haven't even bothered doubling these up because, you know what? I don't think it really matters. So this has been the third and final of the Nordic Ice series, the Wintergreen. I'd like to say hello and thank you to Goldie818. And hello and thank you if you have subscribed, if you haven't, if you'd consider it, to Aiden C, as in Seay. I may have given you a shout out before. I don't quite remember it. The Aiden sounds familiar, but I'm not recognizing the last name. Do check out Berg's Dip Reviews, Winnington Outdoors, Dirty Pat Walsh, Wayside Lee 83, Real Talk Studios, No Bluff Buff, and snoozefreak.com, the channel here on YouTube. I will be back in the next 24 hours with a series wrap-up of this whole snooze series. Then there will be Chew review, a surprise review, maybe a dry snuff review, and then we will get into the fine cut wintergreens. As I said, though, this has been the review of Nordic Original Wintergreen. If it seems that I've strayed off topic on this video, that's because this being the topic, there's not much really to say. It's just, I do hope you all are well. Do take care of yourselves, and as always, God bless.